Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Well guys, I don't know if you can tell just by looking behind me or maybe looking at how we're dressed, but the seasons have changed big time, and that's the case for much of the eastern part of the United States. So now we've really entered into winter mode, and as far as nursery goes, of course, we're not selling much plants at all now. So what is it exactly that we're going to be doing all winter in the nursery? What is there to do in a nursery in the winter? Well, that's what we want to share with you guys today and talk a little bit about how we're going to take this season and take this time to continue to expand our nursery, to increase our capacity, and hopefully lead to us having an even better year next year. Now, one of the big projects that we need to do, and it's a big project, but it's also an important one, is we're out in kind of the back area of our pasture here, and my daughter's garden is right here to my left, and we're going to take some of this space out here, maybe 4,000 or 5,000 square feet of space, and mow all of this down out here and put ground cover out here, get irrigation out here, and build us an entire second area for growing plants out. This would be a place where we could grow several thousand more plants out. I mean, 10,000 plus additional plants out here, and they would be plants that were just out here to be grown out. They would not be immediately for sale, and what we've come to realize is anything that we have out there anywhere near our sale area, when customers come, they see it and they want to go buy it even if it's not for sale, or they want to go look at it, or whatever the case may be. So we want to get an area out here that's not in sight where we can just let things be growing. So in order to do that, we're going to have to run about 400 feet of irrigation pipe out here, which means we're going to have to trench it and, you know, all the rest. It's a huge undertaking to do that, but this time of year, fall going into winter now, is a great time to do that. So very important project and something that's going to take a good bit of time to do this winter. A second big project that we want to undertake this winter, or at least sometime before we start selling plants in the spring, is we want to rebuild a checkout area. Not rebuild it, we want to build a checkout area, because this tent structure that we've been using has served us very, very well, but it was never intended to be anything but temporary.
So our quick tent system has served us very well, and we have loved it this year because, one, it is versatile. It goes up and down.
Yeah.
But the problem is it's not permanent, and we struggle on really windy days. And in the spring, we often have windy days, and on windy days, a tarp tent can become like a sail and just try to sail away.
And we're trying to take it up and down.
And then we're going back and forth. So something that was a little bit more of a permanent structure would be really nice to make sure we provide ourselves with shade on sale days, but also a place for our customers to just be able to get out of the sun and get a shady spot while they're purchasing their plants. We have had success with this year, but we want something that's just more permanent, that will last, and that will not have to be taken up and down or changed. It will just be here and will be ready to go when we need it.
The second big project that we'll have to do this winter, and this is probably just a few weeks away now. We've had a hard freeze. We're dormant. Now we really need some rain because the ground is as hard as it can be. But this bed of green giants out here, we're going to be selling these to our YouTube viewers this year. We've got about 1,000 of them out here. And we're also going to be selling 2 varieties of hostas to you guys, bare root, this year as well, trying to, you know, help you guys get your nursery started. So, you know, this is a project that takes several days, not just to dig them, but then to take all the orders, box and ship and all of that. It's just a big project. So it's something that we look forward to doing. It's a way for us to make some income in the winter, and it's a way for us to help you guys out as well.
And I just want to say just thank you to our YouTube family. You guys are so awesome.
Absolutely.
Y'all have supported our channel by watching, and you support our family with encouraging comments and emails that you send us with your stories, and it's so encouraging for us. We share a lot of that with our children, especially with Chloe, our oldest, who's so interested in nursery work. But this is just a way for us. This wasn't like this big plan for us to do this, but it's a great way for us to be able to offer you guys some bare root plants in the winter, and we enjoy doing it, and we just want to say thank you guys for supporting the channel.
Yeah, and going forward, you know, I mean, in the years ahead, you know, we want to be able to grow more and more plants, more and more varieties to offer to you guys. So, you know, this is maybe a really good door opening for us, and, you know, we're looking forward to seeing how much of this we can get done this year and in the years ahead. Now, second thing that we've got to do this winter, and it's going to be kind of an ongoing winter project, is we've got to pot lots of plants, and I really don't know how many. I'll just say several thousand because I don't know the exact numbers, but this is one tray of green giants. There's probably 60 or 75 in this tray or something, and we've got several of these to pot. In fact, adding up all the ones over here that we rooted this summer, we've got close to 2,000 of them to pot, at least 1,500. So lots of green giant potting to do, but we also have lots and lots and lots of other plants. This is just one example, and you know, by say late February, early March, we'll have lots of perennial plugs coming in to get potted, and potting never ends. And right now we've had a little bit of a snag in potting in that one of my ingredients for my potting soil, my hardwood bark that I use, the mill that I get it from, is broke down. So their mulch machines broke down, and it's going to be broken down for weeks, and I don't know how long that's going to last, but until then we're almost out of potting soil, so there's been no rush on getting more potting done right now until I can get more potting soil here and mixed and all of that. So that should be something that we can get resumed in the days and weeks ahead before long at all. But you know, potting is just going to be an all winter thing, just trying to get some potting done every week once we get rolling with it. So it's one of those things in a nursery, you're basically never done with potting, but that's okay because you're never done growing plants. So it's just part of the deal, but we'll spend a lot of time this winter potting, that's for sure. Another project that has to get done is something that we can work on, you know, early in the morning, we can work on it at night, whatever, because it's inside work, and that's ordering plants for next year. So we do a lot of that online, as far as making the selections of what plants we're going to buy and just kind of trying to figure out pricing on things and quantity of the things that we want to buy and trying to track some of those things down, which is oftentimes not easy. That's something that goes on during the winter. You don't ever wait until spring to order your plants. There's not going to be anything left. You know, you got to get those orders in September, October, November, December. You know, later, the latter 3-4 months of the year, you know, you got to get that stuff done. So that's another thing to work on in a nursery during the winter, is ordering plants, making sure that when spring comes, you're ready for it. Now, another project, it's just an ongoing winter thing, is weeding. And you might think, well, you don't have to deal with weeds in the winter. Well, that is absolutely incorrect if you think that. Now, just right here on my left, down here on the ground, this is probably, I think it's 150 or so hostas. It's a variety called Sting. Really, really cool plants, but I don't know how well you can see it on camera, but all the green that you see down there is weeds, and they're winter weeds, and they grow like crazy all winter long. And you know, when you got them a low tunnel with them covered in a tunnel, they grow even more. And just out in the open like this, they still grow. And it's not just these. I mean, we got plants everywhere that either have weeds now or will have weeds in them through the winter. So, you know, we don't want to wait and try to tackle that in March when it's warming up. We want to kind of work on that just periodically, on and off throughout the season. So weeding, it never ends. There's not a season in the nursery when you don't have weeds to pull, and as far as I can tell, that's just the way it is. So we'll be working on that. Now, another project that I'm really looking forward to this winter is in about mid-February. I've got a couple of hundred bare root fruit trees ordered, and I'm going to just sell them bare root. Like, we're going to get them on a Monday, I think, and then by that weekend we're going to be selling them. So I never tried to do that before. I think it's going to go well. It's something that I think we can just do kind of a quick flip, double our money type of thing on. I'm really not sure though, but we're going to have apple trees, pears, plums, apricots, figs, maybe a couple others, cherries. If I didn't say that, I don't know. But lots of varieties of each of those trees we're going to be offering to our customers bare root. I did kind of a test post on our Facebook page earlier this year just to see what kind of interest there was, and there's going to be quite a bit of interest in those. So I didn't take orders. Nobody's promised to buy any. I don't usually do that type of thing, but we're looking forward to trying that out and seeing how that goes. And what I'm hoping is it goes really well so that next year in February, that'd be 2025, we can have a huge bare root fruit tree sale. But I like to try things like that and just kind of see how it goes before I go all in on something. But if it works out, we'll be ready to go all in the next year for sure. But that's another thing that's coming up this year, this winter. And, you know, something else that just is ongoing through the winter is just ongoing unfinished projects. I mean, so here's what happens. You guys may see these green giants growing in my mulch pile behind me. And the reason they're here is because I just never got to them last spring, and they've rooted very deeply into the pile, and I don't want to pull them out while they're growing, so I left them all season. And I need to deal with this and, you know, find these a good home. And, figure out what we're going to do with them. So we have things like this that are all over the place. We'll have ongoing irrigation needs on and off through the winter. Now, it's been extraordinarily dry around here now for a couple of months, but typically it's not that way through the winter. But if it doesn't rain any, at least every couple of weeks we'll have to irrigate some, but I expect that to change. Winter's typically pretty wet, and if it is, you don't have to water at all. But just keeping an eye on everything. Our low tunnel, we'll take the covers off of our low tunnels from time to time and let them get rained on, or just check their moisture level, or whatever the case may be. They require very little attention through the winter, but you just got to keep an eye on things, and don't take for granted that everything with your plants is just going to be okay if you don't check on things at least occasionally. So between weeding and watering and finishing projects like this, there's just all kinds of things that we're going to be doing out here this winter, and it's not like we've just got all this off time now since the weather's gotten cold. Now guys, if y'all have been following our videos, y'all know that we moved to this property about a year ago now, and we had to put a new house here, and it was a totally empty property. And one of the things that we've also kind of been working on for the last year while we're living here and while we're building this nursery business is we're still trying to get our home functional, as far as just our family being able to live here and this being home to us. And we've got a couple of projects, one in particular that has just gotten put on hold that we really need to tackle.
Well, I definitely can say that this winter there's going to be no boredom at Odom's Nursery, that's for sure. There's lots of nursery projects, but there's lots of family, just personal projects as well that we have going on. We have a building that we kind of put together to be able to store our tools in, and shovels and all that good stuff in, but it's not finished. Just got a roof, and it's weather protected, but it needs windows and it needs a door.
It needs to be painted. It just needs to be finished.
Yeah. So all of those chores, as well as you're starting a business, as well as your family's trying to continue doing what we do, there's a to-do list that will never end.
It'll never end. And what happened with our barn, we call it the barn, the building, it's just basically a storage building / shop. But what happened with it is we got the walls up, we got the roof on it, got it dried in, and we had to move.
Yep.
So we moved here and just threw everything in it, which was part of its purpose, was storage also, but it is an absolute disaster. And as the months have gone on and we've been out here working, you can't find anything in there. You can't get anything else in there. Heck, you can hardly get yourself in there.
But everything in there is dry.
It is dry.
It's dry.
And we're going to build a lean-to off the back, and we can put a bunch of stuff out back and just make more room and just get things organized so we can function a little better.
Yeah, that's definitely, organization's always something that's helpful in any situation, but especially in this one.
Yep. So guys, besides all that, we really don't have anything to do this winter. So like you said, it won't be boring. We'll find plenty to do, but this is some of the stuff that has to happen foundationally in order for us to have a great spring next year and to set ourselves up for a continually growing nursery, growing business, trying to thrive all we can here in what we're doing. So like always, we appreciate y'all watching. I love y'all, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye guys, see you later.